Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 90 of the Gametime Gents podcast. It is me, Nardy, here with Fish and Zolt. Boys, can you believe it's been 90 episodes?
It just feels like yesterday.
It does.
And we're on our third season approaching? Here's the second. I think this is third, technically.
Is it?
Third, because it's been at least 2 years already. Because we missed a couple weeks, and 104 is 2 years.
Yeah. Because I think we started right before 2024. That season kicked off.
Yep.
Like a week or two before we decided to just go and do it. So it's pretty cool. Almost 3 years of doing this with you guys.
Almost.
Loved every second of it. So
Retire.
today we're going to go over the AFC West. We're going to give our preview of that division. It's a very exciting division, in my opinion. But just a couple little tidbits of news before we get to that. Spain won World Cup. So congrats to Spain. That's their second one, correct? One back in 2010.
Yeah.
And now they win this year. No repeat from Argentina. I know if you watch the game, the entire stadium was Argentina fans.
They had no shots on goal until like extra time.
Yeah, the Spain defense was
Insane.
Well, their whole gimmick was play back on their feet, just let people come in and then try and do a quick counter, which
Park the bus.
it doesn't make any sense when your playmaker is a forward. You kind of want to, and they try to force feed him the ball a lot. So I don't know. That was Messi's last World Cup. We won't see him again in that situation. I know Argentina is ranked number 1 coming into this. I think they dip past 10. There's no one else on that team who could keep them together at all. I mean, he was the backbone of that entire team, offense and for the most part defense as well. Or at least opportunities created. So I know he had 12 goals and assists in this whole series and such. So it's sad. You kind of wish he would just end on a high note. Win another World Cup. But I mean, his GOAT status is still out there. I mean, it's just Ronaldo doesn't compare. Pele doesn't, Maradona doesn't. So Spain looked lethal.
That looked really good.
They look disgusting, and all of them are like 22 years old. So we might.
I think the one kid was he's like 19.
Lamine Yamal.
Yeah. Yamal. I mean, most of them play with Barcelona and Real, and I mean, it's just that's going to be a dynasty. We're witnessing another dynasty. Because right, you look at the Germany team, you look at even Brazil. You see a lot of these guys 2-3 World Cups ago. I mean, you would recognize all these names, right? I mean, look at England's squad. 12 years ago, they had Gerrard and Lampard up there, and it's just now you kind of see that trend of like all these teams, all those big names are now being filled by younger kids, which is good, but they don't have that. They don't have that stardom yet. They don't have that the skill set as well as Spain has it. So for the next possibly 8 years, I mean, you could really see Spain really go on a European run on just winning all kinds of trophies and such. So very interesting. I do want to talk about what the hell was that halftime show?
It was a lot of acts.
There was a lot of stuff going on, and everybody, I mean, they got a lot of flack on it because they don't do that anywhere else. It's just a U.S. thing. But I guess Speed was a part of it. Whatever he did, and the Shakira shaking her ass, and then you had Ronaldinho, Ronaldo come in on a car, and then they just stood there. It's just a lot of shit that just didn't. It was very confusing. It was very. And then BTS was there. Like, what was happening?
I saw Ted Lasso and Coach Beard were there.
Yep.
And I was like, what are we doing? That is very interesting.
I bet Ronaldinho and Ronaldo made a good chunk of money doing that too.
Yeah, and then they get out of the car and they stood right next to her, whoever that was.
I think I Show Speed did the ending ceremony with his like original World Cup song, or it was either the end or the beginning. I'm not sure which one, but Dude's
I mean,
out there
he's
doing
been,
it.
yeah, he's been involved. I've seen a lot of him on TikTok, with the World Cup and his reactions and stuff like that. So, I mean, good for him for making probably a boatload of money.
Yeah, I saw a clip. He met Mbappe's dad, and he asked Mbappe's dad who would win in a race, him or Mbappe, and Mbappe's dad said speed. So he actually might.
It's just.
But let's talk about that game a little bit. The France-England game. Why?
Okay, I'm gonna say one thing real quick about that is that I don't think that the third place game, those goals shouldn't count towards the golden boot, in my opinion.
Why not?
I just don't. I mean, that's not what everyone's watching. We're watching the final. There's no need for that game. Like, what does third place get? Does second place even get anything? Do they get medals? I don't know. I know there's a trophy for the winners.
Trump was giving out medals to Argentina, so I assume they would get a bronze medal. I don't know how that totally works, but
it's also just too because like there's some teams, if you look at every other sport, if they're playing in that third place game, especially if it's something that's and again, not a big soccer guy. Please correct me if I'm wrong. 100% know that this is a possibility that I'm wrong. They're risking injury. The players, if you're playing for the final, that's one thing. But if you're playing for third, they're not normally going to start all their starters because, worried about injury and everything. It's like with the group stage. Once you've secured on to the round of 32, you're sitting your starters because you're already secured your spot.
it's true.
But I could be wrong. It is playing for your country. I could be very wrong.
I think that they've always done a third place game. I could be wrong though.
Well, yeah, I mean, most, the Olympics do it and all that stuff.
They have. There's some type. I think there's some type of monetary value that comes with it, and obviously the economical stature that comes with it as well. I get what you're saying. That game should, for how both those teams, both those calibers. Well, I think England put up 2 goals. I think Declan Rice scored 1 or 2 in the first 10 minutes. That's very uncharacteristic. I think both teams had 15 shots total.
I think if I remember correctly, I saw at halftime it was 4-0 England.
Yeah, and then France decided they forgot that they had good players, and they decided to storm back. So I don't know. You could almost say it's a little bit of a show. It's a little bit not, but
right.
You've seen freak things happen, and England got lazy on defense. They thought they had that 4-goal cushion, and then all of a sudden France is like, yeah, let me put 3 on you real quick. And then, France had a plethora of opportunities. That game should have easily been 6 or 7, which we've seen before. Germany's laid pipe down to, some poor third world nation, 28-0. And same thing with Brazil. So, it's not uncharacteristic. But that goal, it was a great thing for the casual spectators from the U.S. watching that, because then they're like, oh, this is great. Soccer's a lot of fun. We get to witness this cool match that everybody's saying is the best World Cup game ever, yada, yada, yada. But then they got to go into it that 9 times out of 10 is not going to be like that. You might not even see a 1-0, stand. You might see a 0-0, but they don't go into extra time because it's a regular season game. So, yeah, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, you could say the same thing about the round of 16, the round of 8.
Yeah.
And do those goals count? Is there a little bit of stat padding? Maybe. Should Mbappe be able to score that many times? Yes, absolutely. He's got that caliber player. So the question is, where was that this entire tournament from both teams? Granted, France played Spain. Spain just looked insane, but England, what happened to England? We saw it when they played Argentina. Their last few, 20 minutes, and their defense fell apart. So if I'm the England manager, I'm looking back being like, you guys, this is 2 matches in a row. Like, what are we doing? Like, why are we getting so lazy? Like, do we bring in John Stones early and let him play that central position and kind of give him the captain's quarters in the back line and make sure that he can operate everything? Or do we go with someone? I don't know. There's a lot of things to really look at, but England looking inward, I mean, they got a young team as well, but you got to figure Harry Kane's getting older. It's probably gonna be one of the last World Cups that we see him. Probably the next one, and then you got the Declan Rices, the Jude Bellinghams. I mean, their midfield and their defense, in theory, was very good. Pickford looked great back there, but again, this is all you're gonna see a lot more contracts, a lot, especially with these third world nations and these guys that like Haiti and stuff like that. Where
what was the team that drew Spain in the group, and then they like held on against Argentina in one of the rounds.
Copa, something like that. You're going to see a lot of these guys.
Copa Verde. No.
Who played an amazing tournament. They didn't win. They might have lost every match or drew one. But to put yourself on a pedestal that way and play for your country and do so well that you don't think that these scouts of all these BPL teams or La Liga or Serie A or anything like that, you think these guys aren't watching these games?
The Saudi League.
Well, that's another thing too. Like, I mean, they already got Ronaldo, they got Mane over there and stuff like that. I mean, they're gonna try and gain as much attention as they can to their league. Why not take a flyer or someone who's getting older and bring? There's a lot of great things that could come out of this. And a lot of hopefully bigger contracts for these guys that really never would have had the opportunity elsewhere because there's just not enough coverage. But when you see Spain play against Cape Verde or Haiti, or the U.S. is going against Paraguay and they ended in 0-0 or 1-0 or whatever, it makes a world of difference for their country and that team. And that player and that family and the generations that can go on. So it's very good. It sucks to see the end, but I'm also glad that I remember when Iniesta and Xavi won back in 2010. So, I mean, this was a really cool thing to see. I'm just glad. I'm glad it wasn't France. I'm sure as hell glad I wasn't Portugal. That's all I care about. I don't really give it. And honestly, the U.S., they didn't really deserve it either. So,
dude, they played so bad in that game. It was Cape Verde, by the way. I mean, that goalie's probably getting a call from somebody.
Absolutely.
The champ to zero goals. I don't know.
There's a few players that are on their team and a couple others that are like, wow, where's this guy playing? And you're like, oh, I've never heard of that team. There's a million teams out there in the league. So
yeah.
Who's the team that beat Germany in PKs? Is that Paraguay?
Maybe.
Hang on,
whoever's team that was, that goalie needs something. He's a giant. He looks like the biggest person I've ever seen in goal. Fish, a lot of people online were saying about the England loss against Argentina. They didn't play Saka at all. Like they could have used that speed out there a little bit.
That's a lot of things, especially on the wing too. And Saka kind of came in late in a few matches. But Argentina also did the same thing where they didn't bring on Lautaro Martinez or Otamendi for defense, even though that the defense is struggling or we needed a stronger attack. There's a little bit of a strategy behind it. With England's play, they had both good wingers. Like, obviously, if you bring in Saka, you kind of hope you bring him in the 75th minute, the 80th minute, to try and spark that energy. He's quick enough. He's going to burn past everybody anyway. But again, to your point, you got someone of that caliber type player playing for Arsenal or whomever. You almost want to play in the starting 11, right? That's what you want. But I don't know. There's a lot of things, and there's a lot of do they look at the formations? Is everything going to bleed through Harry Kane? Do we only look for go down the wing, cross it in because Kane will be there? Do you push Stones up? I mean, is Saka that good with crossing the ball in? Did the younger guys have fresher legs? Did they play? There's a lot of things that can go into it. But I mean, you could say that a lot about a lot of these teams that didn't you're like, oh, I forgot he even played on that team. Why is he just now coming in? So, because I know I questioned it, watching it a couple times. I was like, I remember that guy 4 years ago. Why isn't he starting? Like, 28 is not that old, or 32 is not that old. Like, why is he not? Like, yeah, playability, he's still got it. He might have lost a step, but to be able to be in that veteran presence and kind of be able to wrangle everybody in and be like, hey, this is what we should be doing. This is the formation. This is how we should play it. Just have him communicate on the defensive ability. Look at Otamendi. You have Otamendi out there kind of commanding everything, and maybe the defense stands up. Or I don't know. The Argentinian coach or manager just didn't. He was unfazed by everything. Last minute goals that they would win, them giving up goals. It's just like, okay, what are we pushing people up? Because most of the time spent in your half, I'm not a big, I don't play soccer, but it's not supposed to happen. So I don't know. It was a great World Cup. I mean, it was great. It just sucks that we had to wait another 4 years to see it again.
Let's watch the women's World Cup next year.
Oh yeah, you go watch Brazil or U.S. win it again. As fun as that is.
Well, it wasn't Japan really good at women's soccer too there for a little bit.
Japan is still very good.
Are they?
But when they play against U.S., where the average height is like 5'8" to 6'3", and then you have the Japanese who's maybe 5'3", and you're like, oh, that's cool. And then they just got out-muscled. And you're like...
just out-headered. Just
right.
Just lob crosses into the box. And
they can play each other's shoulders.
Yeah, no, 100%. They get double up that way. Put a giant trench coat on and call
Kick again screaming.
I think the Euros is coming up in like 2 years, though, so it should be good to see. Hopefully, Italy can make a play into that. I don't know. We've just been asked the last 12 years, and it's been very disappointed. I think I'm gonna set up my resume somewhere. I'd be a goalie or water boy or something.
I could see you as a ball boy. You guys are ready to talk about the AFC West?
Oh yeah, football. Yeah.
Football. I mean,
American football.
Baseball trade deadline's coming up. So, I'm going to see what the Tigers do here.
All right,
get rid of Scooble or
talk about baseball.
That's what I mean. There hasn't been anything crazy yet. It's August 3rd. It's coming up. So this is like
Yankees are playing like bad news bears. Get rid of your shortstop and get rid of Chisholm. That guy, everybody's ass on the defense. I don't understand what's happening.
Defense is very bad.
Up the middle. Yeah, it's a bigger gap to Strahan. It's just lock that shit in. Like, you guys are the top % of players to ever play this game. You make millions of dollars and you can't get a routine ground ball. I'm on my ass over here. I got no pants on, and I'm talking on a podcast where I get it, right? I get it, but at the same time, I don't remember there being so many errors than there has been the last 3-4 years. You remember back in the early 2000s, the 2010s. I don't remember there being
watching the Yankees
that many errors. Every clip I see on Facebook or Instagram is like, oh, Volpe here fucked up another one. I'm like, why is this guy in still? Why is he in?
I've seen a lot of talk about him. Who
are we gonna trade? Stop giving up prospects. Stop signing old bastards to contracts. Honestly, the Reds aren't going to be able to afford Ellie at this point. They just gave, by the way, they robbed Chase Burns of a huge contract. They got him for 7 years for $120 million.
That's it?
Unheard of. Whoever, that agent probably can't read and write because he just swindled the shit out of him. So, once Ellie's contract is up, he's going to get called for the big ones. It's going to be the Yankees. It's going to be
Dodgers.
The Dodgers is oh yeah, we'll pay you in 2093, so they'll just go ahead and get him for nothing. I don't know, man. Trade deadline's going to be interesting. I don't know. The Tigers is an interesting one where they have the talent there, but I can also see them giving up one of your star pitchers, almost like I'm not saying Scooble, but I can see them giving up a Scooble to get a younger player or two and then picks later.
Yeah, I think it's Scooble and Mize. Mize has been pitching so well lately. They both have like a 60% chance to be traded, but apparently Scooble has come out and said he wants to stay in Detroit. He loves the city, he loves the fans and all that, which is great. I mean, he's doing the best he can. He can't hit the ball. Torkelson, like either he hits a home run or he strikes out, or it's a routine ground out. His batting average is horrible. I think he's hitting under 250.
Which honestly, 250 is the new 320 nowadays.
I know.
If you're hitting 250 in the MLB, give that guy a max contract.
Yeah. However, Kevin McGonigal, he's gonna do great things.
He's kind of like that five tool player. He can steal base, he can hit home runs. Defensively, he's very good. He can he can drive in the RBIs and the runs. You gotta. Your team is in such a weird spot because you've got a lot of talent, but there's not a lot of guys that are like aging where you're like, oh yeah, well you got 3 years left in your prime, we can get rid of you now and get something. Whereas either you got a Scooble or you got like a Myers and stuff like that, where you either get rid of them now and get max return, or you sign them to that deal and then you just sit on and see what happens. So you guys are in a weird spot.
Yeah, it is. It's a very weird spot. I mean, we went. I've been to a couple games this year. Went last year, and the 2 games we went to against the Rangers, they looked lights out. I mean, they're hitting the ball well. Fielding's there, pitching's there. I mean, even with the bullpen chaos, game 2 was literally I saw 6 different pitchers in a 9-inning game, which is insane. The starting pitcher lasted 2/3 of an inning, and then they yanked his ass and threw someone else in there. But then when we watched them play the Phillies, and now granted, Zach Wheeler was pitching, and
you're not touching that
guy. He's lights out. I think it was his 5th consecutive game with like 10 plus strikeouts. But that's the vein right there, is they just can't hit the ball. And then the defense is, Scooble was pitching, he pitched well, but then the relief wasn't there either. So I don't know. It is a really weird spot. Because we have just enough to where we're probably going to sneak into the playoffs, because I think they're only a couple games out of the wild card. Maybe depends on how the division goes. If teams start sliding, could win the division. But then last year had a huge lead in the division and blew it. Still made the wild card. But
thank goodness for the wild card. Everyone and their grandmother gets in except for like the last 2 teams. So
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to watch. ABS, I think, is a great thing for baseball, by the way. I think it's one of the best things they've added.
What is that?
Where each team gets 2 challenges per game, where they can challenge a ball or strike call, pitcher and catcher or batter. If it's successful, you retain the challenge and, call's overturned. If not, you lose that challenge. So I think it was the Reds they ended up winning the game because there was like 3 challenges in a row that got overturned, and then he got walked, and then the next batter walked it off. So it's like I said, it's a good change.
Sounds like it. AFC West.
Yeah, let's talk about football. It's almost here.
Oh God! All right, so
sucked in a lot of air there, Kirby.
Thanks, man. Also, I wanted to comment. You went very East Coast there for a second, talking on a podcast.
He comes out every once in a while.
It gets so frustrated. I just like
it's when he talks about the damn Yankees.
God, killing me.
Boston's doing good.
That's what I don't want. I don't want Boston and Dallas to win. I don't. They're all scumbags. I don't want them to win.
All right, we got the AFC West comprised of the Raiders, the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Chiefs. Last year, we saw the Broncos win the division. They went to the AFC Championship game, finished 14-3, went 5-1 in division. The Chargers, despite not having an offensive line, went 11-6, 5-1 in the division as well. And then a very uncharacteristic Kansas City Chiefs season. They went 6-11, 1-5 in the division, and then the Raiders repeated at 3-14, 1-5 again. Not much of a shocker there, but let's look at the notable Denver Broncos transactions from the offseason. So not a lot of movement here in terms of big name players. Obviously, the biggest move is going to be Jalen Waddle. He's joining the team. This gives Bo Nix 3 pretty good options to throw the ball to. You could even say there's 4 good options with how many tight ends they're bringing in. They did re-sign Adam Troutman. Lil Jordan Humphrey, just love the name, had to put it on here. But they also have another receiver, Troy Franklin, which I believe Zoltowski had in a couple dynasty leagues last year.
I think in the one league I have all 3. I have Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin, and Marvin Mims.
You need to,
and I would just rotate. I would just rotate between them. I think I had Waddle and as well, so I have to look. I don't know, but I mean, I would always play the wrong guy.
Yeah.
So I would honestly go and say 4 options there at wide receiver because they all have their moments. But we talk about this with the Lions. Once you get a lot of options, then it kind of sucks fantasy.
There's only one football.
Good for the it's good for the team because then it's like, okay, hey, who's the number 1 going to cover? Obviously, there's always a very clear number 1, but then it's all right. The man can throw to people.
Yeah, they do also still have Evan Ingram. He is 31 this year, though. He's been injury prone for pretty much his whole career. I think he played every game last year, though. But Adam Troutman may be a good name to kind of keep on your radar. They gave him like 30 to 40 million over the next 3 years, which is pretty good for a tight end, especially a backup tight end.
Damn, Troutman got that much?
I believe so, if I'm not mistaken. You can verify that if you want, but yeah, they re-signed him for 3 years, like 34 million. If I remember right, because I had the same response. I was like, wow, they brought him back. So
wasn't that much? Wasn't that much?
It wasn't that much. How much was it?
It's 3 years, 17 mil, max up to 18.5.
Oh, I added the 2 together, probably. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know where I read 34.
Holy shit, for a backup tight end who it just blocks. That's great.
Yeah. Oh my God, he went to Dayton.
Yeah, he did
go to UD.
Dayton. Yeah. The big thing I'm worried about is going to be RJ Harvey. He was kind of the last man standing last year. They do have a plethora of running backs, which they brought 2 back. They brought back J.K. Dobbins. They brought back Jaleel McLaughlin. You can say what you want about McLaughlin. He doesn't really get used much, but there was a season where he had some production. They also drafted a running back with their 2nd pick overall, which was in the 4th round, but be that as it may, Jonah Coleman is now a Denver Bronco. He's listed as
5'8", 220.
They're all pretty small. I think J.K. Dobbins is the biggest by a long shot. They did let go of Michael Burton. He's now a Cleveland Brown, but they signed Adam Prentice. So give and take a fullback there. But really the biggest thing for me is, they lost some big defensive pieces, but Jalen Waddle's got to be the number 1 talked about thing here. Are you guys excited for Jalen Waddle with Bo Nix, or are you afraid
better than
that
Tua?
Yeah,
and Malik. I mean, it's good, but again, he's already going into a decent receiving core. So how much is he going to see the ball? He's listed here as the wide receiver 2, but
which honestly is the best thing for him. Unfortunately, I think you're going to see similar results when he was with the Dolphins. Not because obviously when they had Tyreek, they had a chain, everything bled through those 2, and then it just seemed like Waddle was the 3rd option. I think you're going to find similar play here, just because, like Nutter said, I mean, they have 3 good receivers, then they have a J.K. Dobbins, and they have 2 good tight ends, and the 17 other pass-catching running backs. I just think you're going to see an uptick in usage for Waddle being in the number 2 slot, which is great because he's got that crazy good speed, he's got a good size, good frame. I just don't think you're going to see a top 10, top 15 finish from him. I think he's going to be 15 plus. He'll pop off for a couple games and get lucky and snag a couple touchdowns and have a 100-yard thing. I think Sutton's going to do most of that too. And now you add in, their quarterback not being a pocket passer. He is known to utilize his legs and utilize his legs well. Zoltowski said, it's great for Denver. Great for Denver. You're adding another offensive weapon. I think it's horrible for Jalen Waddle in fantasy. It's too many hands in the teapot and the cookie jar. You only had, like Nutter said, you only have one football. Now you just kind of hope that everybody stays together, and if somebody doesn't get 10 throws in 2 weeks consecutively, no one, decides to read a book on the sidelines or bitch and complain. So I don't know. For Denver, this looks great. I'm kind of upset that they didn't re-sign Mercedes Lewis. I think seeing him play till he was 53 would have been cool. But or that one game where he has 2 yards for 9 touchdowns. So it's always a fun one to see.
He's so old.
But this is great for Denver. This is another piece that they need, especially with Courtland Sutton getting older. It just kind of sucks for fantasy wise. It just does. I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. But I don't think I'm going to be wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I think if Bo Nix's ankle wouldn't have disintegrated last year, they'd have been in the Super Bowl.
That happened on the last play, though, right?
Of the divisional, not the divisional. Yeah,
the
divisional
game.
round.
I thought it was on the very last play of the championship game. Maybe I'm wrong, but
no, his last game listed is against Buffalo.
Oh, okay. So in 2025, Waddle demanded 100 targets. Last year for the Broncos, the target share was Courtland Sutton at 124, Troy Franklin, surprisingly at 104 as the wide receiver 2. Evan Ingram at 76, Marvin Mims at 51, and then Pat Bryant at 49 for guys that are going to, not line up in the backfield. So right, there's one of those guys is going to take a step backwards, maybe even 2 of those guys. Probably Pat Bryant and Troy Franklin, if I had to guess. Marvin Mims is kind of like a sneaky little slot
He's
guy.
a utility guy.
You could put anywhere. So I don't know. I'm a little more excited than Fish is. I think that they're going to make him more of a priority just because of what they gave up for him. You saw they didn't have a first round pick or a second round pick this year. So I think Waddle should be more of a focal point, especially with Sutton getting older. They want to build on that, a good foundation for years to come with Bo Nix and Jalen Waddle. He's probably not going to be moved in any dynasty leagues, if I had to guess. People are going to just kind of sit and wait on him. But I would try to trade for him if I could get him for a cheap price, I would say.
How old is he now? Is he 26?
Waddle
27.
is 27.
He'll be 28 in November.
Yep.
Keep in mind, how old Sutton? Sutton's what, 31?
Sutton is
30. He'll be 31 in October.
Yeah. But Sutton plays a much different game than Waddle does.
Well, 100%. But we all know age is king when it comes to being out of your prime, and he's getting to that point.
He's also 6 inches taller than Waddle.
Sutton is?
Yeah. Well, Jalen Waddle's only 5'10". Courtland Sutton's 6'4", 216. He's a big wide receiver 1.
God, that's a true wide receiver 1.
And Troy Franklin 6'3". Like, there's height as much as you want to say it. Like, yeah, vertical's great.
I don't want to say that. All that.
And then Marvin Mims is young too, and he's again showing some flashes there.
I like Marvin Mims.
So,
all right, so you see their rankings from last year. The one that surprised me the most on this slide is their turnovers. I thought that they'd have much more turnovers than they gave away. They're -3 in the turnover margin. They did pass the ball 58% of the time, ran at 42%. I have to think that that's got something to do with JK's injury during the year. Defense stand out, 3rd place in 2025 for points allowed and yards allowed, 7th in rush yards, or 7th in pass yards allowed, 4th in rush yards allowed. They converted 56% of their red zone attempts as touchdowns. Cortland Sutton did have 7 of those. Offensively, they've got some improvements to make, especially in the rushing yard department. Again, we all know J.K. Dobbins went out. R.J. Harvey tried to fit that mold. He's kind of a smaller guy, more of a pass catcher, but I think with the moves that they made, they're probably going to have more rushing yards this year. I just don't know if it's going to translate to fantasy. I think it's going to be much more of a committee than it was last year, or even what they planned on last year.
Unfortunately.
I mean, if you have Bo Nix, I'd be very excited though, because he's holding a grudge after not being able to play in that championship game and coming back strong. He's gonna have another good year. I remember when he got his rookie year, I think week 1 he looked awful. I think we were sitting in wings and rings and we all looked at each other like, yeah, he Broncos try again. And then like the next couple of weeks he just popped off.
Broncos Nation. All right, next team here we have the Chargers. A lot of transactions here. Last year we all know how difficult it was for Justin Herbert to get the ball out. He was missing Joel and is it Slater on the left side?
Yes.
I think that's his name.
I believe. LA depth chart.
Yeah, Rashawn Slater. So
Rashawn Slater.
They both missed for a while. They also had some issues in the interior. They did address a lot of that over the offseason. Most of the guys that they added are going to help in the run game. So Amarion supporters, and then another guy we're going to talk about here in a minute, Keaton Mitchell. I think that Keaton Mitchell is going to have a crazy year. He was very flashy at Baltimore. Very good change of pace back for Derrick Henry. He's fast as fast can be. Omarion is not like Derrick Henry, but I tell you what, he's still going to be a change of pace back for Omarion. Omarion's going to be.
Don't forget about Vidal, though.
Vidal is still there. You're right.
Yes, he's young too. He's 24. He was drafted in 2024, and he had a pretty good year last year.
It's true. Yeah. But I think Keaton Mitchell has a little bit more than Vidal does. They did also bring in a pair of tight ends, Charlie Kohler from the Baltimore Ravens, David Njoku from the Cleveland Browns. This is probably going to be Njoku's last team. But look at all the interior offensive linemen they brought in. Tyler Biadasz, really, really good center. Cole Strange, pretty decent guard. Jake Slaughter, I believe he is starting as of right now at left guard. Travis Burke, they brought in some more depth at the tackle position. Logan Taylor, Alex Harkey, or Hackery. I don't know if that's how you actually say his name. They did re-sign Trevor Penning. He played a really big role last year. Trey Lance, so I'm going to add him to the document here. They did re-sign Khalil Mack. He's getting paid $18 million for 1 year. I know that for a fact because I did read that and I saw it and I said, wow, that's a lot of money for a very old defensive end. And then Derwin James obviously has been brought back. So there's subtractions. Najee Harris is still not signed anywhere. Hassan Haskins as well. That's more believable. Keenan Allen is gone. Tyler Conklin's gone. He's with the Lions now. Will Dissly is a free agent.
When did they sign Conklin?
I'm not sure, but your Lions have him now. Mekhi Becton and Zion Johnson are both gone as well. Zion joining the Browns. So yeah, I think they're really trying to address the biggest issues they had last year, which was Justin Herbert running for his life. He's going to be able to get the ball to Ladd McConkey more, Quentin Johnston, the other tight end that's there, Aronde Gadsden. So what do you guys think about these moves?
I like it. I mean, they had their problem last year, and they looked to solve it. That's all there is to it. Other than that, the team was solid. Quentin Johnston remembered how to catch the ball. Ladd McConkey looked pretty good. And then Keenan Allen had a resurgence as well. So, and I think Njoku, they bring him in just as a vet for Gadsden to learn more off of, and the other tight end probably is a blocking tight end. Maybe they'll throw him at tackle if the depth chart gets decimated again. I hope it doesn't. Khalil Mack, I think it's a legacy thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
But I mean, he had 5.5 sacks last year, 13 solo tackles. It's not terrible, but again, I think it's a legacy thing. But I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all.
No, I like it. I like the tight end moves. You look at like a Tyler Conklin and a Will Disley. They're more. They're not physical specimens. They're not really. They're athletic. They're not super crazy athletic, right? They're mostly just there to go ahead and put another body on a blocker, and that's it, right? Do another run stop or stuff like that. But then you add a David Njoku, who we've seen with the Cleveland Browns what he can do. He can block and get out open. I mean, that guy without a shirt on is an actual specimen. I mean, he is just shredded. But he also has.
Pretty sure that's one of my fantasy team names too. Is the Njokers with him in that mask.
So I think they're doing a lot of good things. I mean, if they played, and kind of what Zoltowski said is, I mean, they're addressing the only downside that they had last year, because it sure as hell wasn't defense, sure as hell wasn't the offense outside of the offensive line. They got line one, and now they have line two. If they get another line, they play hockey. They're doing great here, and keep in mind they played extremely well offensively while Justin Herbert was running for his life. You imagine if he gets 3 seconds in the pocket to like settle both his feet and throw the ball. Also with Amarion Hampton back there, who is a way better Najee Harris. He likes to sit, wait, go ahead and take it, just like Le'Veon Bell would. But he's also really good at pass catching. And then you add a guy who has a sub 4.3 40 and Keaton Mitchell, and then the little meatball Vidal. It's a problem. It's a problem. I think that this team could outshine Denver and take that number one spot. This team is a lethal team, both offense and defensively.
So Justin Herbert was sacked 54 times last year. He had 4 receivers, if you count Gadsden, at 600 yards or more in terms of receiving options. There wasn't a 1,000-yard receiver. That's okay. You had Lai McConkey at 789, Keenan at 777s, and then Quentin Johnston at 735.
Love it.
The yardage lost in terms of sacks last year was 301. So the moves they made, that to me screams, hey, we're going to do 2 things. We're going to block for Justin, and we're going to run the football, especially with getting Alec Ingold in there. Like, he's a true, one of the last remaining true fullbacks to play football. And we all know Harbaugh. I mean, look at his time in Michigan. He's going to want to run the ball. I mean, if I'm an Omarion Hampton or an Omarion Hampton manager, I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, and who's their new OC?
Not sure.
It's Mike McDaniel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Capri
and
boy.
I mean, we always talked about how good he was offensively with what he had. And now he's got an even better roster.
Kind of a whiz kid.
If vaping on the sidelines.
You see their pass run split last year, 58% pass, 42% run. They were +2 in turnovers, which I believe is the only team in this division that was plus last year. Only converted 46% of their red zone attempts, and they still went 11-6. Pretty good team.
I feel like they scored a lot from outside the red zone too, though.
They probably did, but I
don't know. They were pretty low on points per game.
Yeah, I feel like the O-line itself really hindered this team last year.
That's what killed them.
Yeah. Offensively, they were in the back half of points, total yards, and pass yards, they just breached into the front half for rushing yards at 14th. Defensively, they were great. 8th in points allowed, 6th in yards allowed, 6th in pass yards allowed, 10th in rushing yards allowed. So I think things are going to look up for the Chargers, especially if they're able to repeat that defensive performance next year. And with all the additions, they got to be able to scotch tape an offensive line together somehow.
Yeah, I mean, you never count on losing both your tackles either, though. That's just killer.
Yeah, especially those two. Those two are very, very good tackles, Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater. Next, we have the Chiefs. Their transactions, we have Justin Fields, Kenneth Walker, Amari DiMarcado, L'Jarius Sneed as additions in free agency. They did bring back Tyquan Thornton and Travis Swift. Sorry, Kelsey. They had a lot of departures, though, and a lot of guys that signed to other teams. So you've got Gardner Minshew, he's a Cardinal. Isaiah Pacheco is a Lion. Damian Pierce and Hollywood Brown are both Eagles. Juju is a Giant, which I'm shocked Juju signed anywhere. Robert Tonyan, Big Bob Tonyan, is now a Steeler. You got a couple of Rams stealing some corners, Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson. Leo Chenal is now a Commie, and Brian Cook is now a Bengal. So a lot of guys, a lot of talent on that team that other teams wanted, apparently. They did pay Travis Kelce for 3 more years, a stupid amount of money. I think only the first year's guaranteed. So
just retire, man.
Probably retire next year anyway. Mansour Delane is going to be a starter this year, a rookie starting corner. Emmett Johnson is a running back that they picked up, pick 161, which I think is the 4th round, if my math is right. Cyrus Allen and then Garrett Nussmeier, a couple more offensive options. The Chiefs had a down year last year and never count out Patrick Mahomes, but with the amount of guys that they lost contrasted with the guys that they brought in or the guys that they kept, I'm not very optimistic for the Chiefs next year.
Where's the O-line? You lose 2 tackles and you don't bring one in. I mean, that was the big problem last year. They had no run game. Great, you sign Kenny Walker. That's awesome. I'm pissed if I'm a fantasy owner. Their manager, sorry. I don't see much changing, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately, I'm sick of hearing about the Chiefs, but I feel like we're going to see Patty Mahomes running for his life, making those diving throws that he's surprisingly good at making, and just struggling, unfortunately for him.
A lot of they hit a lot of subtractions there. I think the biggest thing is, like Soltaski said, with losing the 2 offensive tackles, and then honestly losing the 4 defensive players. I know you kind of refurbished it with Snead and Delane, but it's no McDuffie and Watson, especially at the safety position with Brian Cook there. You look at the offensive subtractions, I think it's no love lost. I think the only one that would suck to lose is Pacheco, just because, I mean, he ran aggressively. He ran angry all the time, which is great. But you lose Gardner Minshew. I mean, there's another job you could do after the NFL and keep the mustache. So, and then you got Kareem Hunt, who honestly he's way past his prime, right? They gave him a long shot. Damian Pierce, at no love lost. He had a quick little stint with the Texans, but outside of that, nothing too crazy. Then you look at Hollywood Brown, project player. They tried to, a few years ago, they tried to get 1,000 guys, receiver, just to give anybody, Patty Mahomes, Miss Patty, tried to give him as much as they could, a deep threat, project player. Didn't work out, didn't pan out, cool. They got rid of him. Juju Smith, project player. They try to use that possession guy because he's not beating anybody with speed. I don't think he's beating any of us in speed. Project player, go on.
He'd probably beat us all in speed, Fish.
I don't know. Quick agileness. If I don't have long pants on, I'm fine. We're good. Robert Tonyan, he's also aging as well.
Never have long pants on.
I do at work and it sucks ass, let me tell you. So, the subtractions, I think it's smart. I think they got rid of the older players that had that year or two, maybe 3 left of worth anything, and now it's someone else's problem. We know Juju's a head case. Hollywood Browns, we know to tweet about shit too. I don't think it's any love lost. They brought in younger players, Cyrus Allen, but now you really instill an insane amount of faith in making sure that Rashee Rice doesn't get behind the wheel and drive anywhere or do anything stupid. Because if he doesn't play, then who's the number one there? You're talking Xavier Worthy, you're talking Cyrus Allen. It doesn't, and then you're right back into it. I think Zoltowski, I think you're correct. The offensive line, they didn't really address. Now, there is still some time. They can get out some free agents, whatever it may be. But
all I'm saying, they have 2 left guards on the depth chart. That is it.
They have 3 good starters, offensive lineman wise. Josh Simmons, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith. They're all good, but Kingsley, I'm not even going to try that last name. I'm not sure how you say that. I'm not sure about him. Jalen Moore, I'm not familiar with his game either. But Josh Simmons, Trey Smith, and Creed Humphrey are at least some good players there.
And in hopes, right? You sign the Super Bowl MVP, you sign him. You gotta figure that you're gonna run it more, right? Maybe in the first quarter. I mean, Biz Patty's gonna throw 1,000 times. That's just what he does. I think we're gonna see Sim. I think we'll see an uptick. I don't think they're gonna be 6-11 again. I think they'll be closer to that 500 average. I think that that dynasty is done with. Unless they really make some trades and really make some pushes for younger talent and get rid of, I don't know, an aging tight end, just like fucking go away at this point. Just go the fuck away. We don't need it anymore.
You know what this team reminds me of?
The Little Giants?
LeBron James and Antoine Jameson. And that's
dude, it's so right.
That's it.
Hey, LeBron, we got you some help. Who? Antoine Jameson. He goes, what?
Pat Mahomes is just so good. And there's other playmakers on this team. Wow, I really misspelled Kenneth Walker's name. I apologize,
also,
Kenny.
We might see Justin Fields open the season for the Chiefs because Patty Mahomes is still recovering from that.
Yeah,
I think it was ACL. He's still listed as questionable. Obviously, there's time, but it was bad from what I remember reading. I think he flew out to Dallas to get it done.
And then even after that, we might see some packages with Fields.
I mean, I think it is good for Justin Fields. It's better than where was he last year?
New York.
The Jets. New York? Yeah. Anything's better than the Jets, baby. Jets. More like a jetting the hell out of there. But I don't know.
But here's their production last year. Defensively, they were very good. Top 5 in points allowed, top 10 in yards allowed and pass yards allowed. And I guess rush yards allowed, they were 8th there. They did convert 59% of their red zone attempts, past 59% of the time as well. They were -1 in turnovers. It's just so weird to see a Patrick Mahomes-led team with these kind of placements.
But we love it.
I mean, we from an NFL fan perspective, yeah, but from a fantasy perspective, I kind of hate it.
Yeah, I mean, he's my QB1 and super active, so yeah, I'm right there with you. But
his production goes up when Rashee Rice plays because he has that possession guy. Because most of the time, he's throwing to Worthy, who is deep constantly. Yeah. And then you got to rely on a fat Juju Smith-Schuster.
On Rashee Rice, he did just get 30. He violated his probation back in May. And the league, because he was high, he test positive for THC. Wasn't supposed to be because he was on probation. So the league still might come and hand out a fine for, violating probation when he's already in trouble.
A fine is fine. I mean,
No, I meant, sorry. I meant a punishment. We don't know because it's, again, same thing. You're in trouble again. Who knows?
It's a Josh Gordon situation. Like, just stay off of it. Like, you make millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Smoke in the off season.
Yeah.
Or smoke on Monday. Or Tuesday. Smoke on Tuesday.
I mean, technically he did smoke in the off season, but he's not supposed to for 5 years. But it's just really funny because there's a quote from Andy Reid. He gets out this week or this next week from jail. So we'll see where it goes from there. He'll be back up here working. Like it's just a regular Tuesday for him.
So with these receiving options, I wanted to ask you guys this. Would it be smart for the Chiefs to go after like a Stephon Diggs, a Brandon Ayuk, a Keenan Allen?
No.
I think Keenan Allen could be successul.
Hey, Keenan Allen, just because there's no baggage with him. Stephon Diggs is battling a possible sexual assault with another guy for whatever reason.
I think he might fit right in there.
Yeah, but that's not what they need. And then Ayuk, that guy, it might have schizophrenia, or at least dual personalities. Because he's like, yeah, F those guys. And the next thing he's like, they want me back, though. I'm like, what am I reading here? So if you look at the wide receivers that he has, Rashee Rice, Cyrus Allen, I don't know any of these other players. Just go to wide receiver 2, Xavier Worthy, Jimmy Holiday. Don't know who that guy is. And then Tyquan Thornton, which he was a Patriot, right?
No, we watched him play at the Chiefs last year.
Did we? Okay, I couldn't remember if he was that fast.
He was that guy that
signed him
during the first couple of weeks. He was like catching all the deep balls.
Oh, that's right. Because Xavier Worthy had played a possession guy. So, honestly, I mean, I don't know. They need a lot of things. They need somebody that's not going to be a head case. They don't need an Ayuk. They don't need a Tyreek Hill. As much as I would love a Tyreek Hill and Miss Patty going back at
a reunion
tag team. I want a couple chips with them. I could use more money in my wallet right now. So, but I don't know. You know what they need? They need a Derek Jeter of the NFL. You don't hear about the guy.
Well, they didn't have social media when he was big.
He's a great player. That's true.
Fair.
I don't think he would have done it.
I really think they need to focus on a more offensive line because you got to protect because if you give Miss Patty enough time, he'll find somebody. He's good. And then you got Kenny Walker back there, so you can actually run the ball. I think that's their biggest thing is they lost 2 tackles and it's the next guy up, unfortunately. And I don't know if the next guy up is good enough.
Well, Josh Simmons was a starter last year. I know that. But on the right side, I think it was Tywan Taylor or whatever his name was. Jawan Taylor. He was the guy that always jumped off sides.
Yeah.
Jawan Taylor, constantly.
Yeah.
You guys ready for some grossness?
Mm-hmm.
We got the Vegas Raiders to talk about, boys. The Vegas Raiders. We have some subtractions. I'm just going to go over those first. Kenny Pickett, Geno Smith out of the building. Raheem Mostert, Zamir White out of the building. Tyler Lockett out of the building. Jamal Adams, Ian Thomas are also both out of the building. As you can see, not a lot of other teams wanted the players here. Most of them are still free agents. They did have some crazy additions. And in terms of crazy, I just mean, have you ever heard them talk? You've got Kirk Cousins and Fernando Mendoza, the first pick of the draft. These are your new quarterbacks. You also have Jalen Naylor coming in at receiver. You've got some linemen coming in. The Tyler Linderbaum absolute fleece.
Fleece the hell out of them. I love it.
Fleece the Ravens there. Connor Hayward, he's a fullback. He's Cam Hayward's little brother. He played on the Steelers last year. I want to talk about these defensive moves, though. Would he pay Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, Taron Johnson, he's a little bit on the older side. Those are some great defensive additions. Kwity Paye and Max Crosby on the same line is going to be scary.
Nakobe Dean in there.
And Quay Walker, they're both going to be scary. The defense, I think, is going to have a little bit better of a time next year than anyone on this offensive team is. I'm not excited for this offense. I'm not even excited for what's his name? The running back.
Ashton Genty.
Michael Myers. Yeah, Ashton Genty. Thank you. I mean, am I wrong here? We got Trey, not Apple, but Azun coming in at a right guard. They did sign Spencer Burford at a guard. They're going to try to run the ball. I mean, Connor Hayward's a fullback, so I don't know. You guys tell me. Am I out of pocket here? Or am I kind of in
so
line?
I mean, we knew after seeing last year that they are in full rebuild here. I think the addition of Linderbaum helps immensely. Like, yeah, you don't have maybe the best guys, but now you've got a bona fide leader as your center who can help kind of bring that offensive line together. You've got Kirk Cousins, who's, I mean, he's not terrible. He's old, but he's there because you got this rookie that you drafted 1-1. Jalen Naylor, he's a serviceable wide receiver 3. I mean, he was at Minnesota and they didn't have a quarterback last year, and they've had Jay Jettas, who was always open. I don't hate it. Obviously, I don't think they're going to win the division or anything. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. How many games did they win last year? 3?
3 for the past 2 years.
I think they'll win at least 5 this year.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you think that they'll win 5 games?
I think the defense here, those defensive additions are strong, really, really strong. I think they'll beat the Chiefs twice.
Twice is a bold statement. I could see them splitting, but that's a bold statement. That's 2 of their 5 wins.
Well, better to do it than against divisional opponents. I think they're moving in the right direction. I think they're moving in the right direction, though. I really do.
I do too. Fish, what are your thoughts? Nobody wanted to come back to the Raiders. There's not many re-signings that were notable.
No, nobody wants to go back to the Raiders, period. Zamir White he hasn't been relevant since that one game where he had 25 fantasy points. And he was like, yeah, I'm all right. I'm good. Offensively, again, whoever the sports agent is for Kirk Cousins deserves the
Agent Hall of Fame
prize. That guy has swindled more money out of Atlanta and this team than anyone else ever could. I think Zoltowski's correct. I think fleecing the Ravens for Linderbaum is massive. I think it's a step in the right direction that way because they are going to utilize Ashton Genty a little bit more. I think they're getting his feet wet last year. They made him squat down like a normal running back and stand up and squat back down. Guys doing burpees for no reason. So let him get comfortable. You beef up that O-line. You get a leader in Tyler Linderbaum there who can really set the tone for that offensive line and kind of cater and he's got the whole offseason really to work with this offensive line. We know that Kirk Cuddy's going to start. You'll probably see Mendoza come in. And honestly, I think they picked Cousins to be part of this team because he is 25 years into the future on Mendoza because they look and act just alike. Kirk Cousins is also he's very smart, very methodical with his movements and his passing game. They're going to have similar games that way. So I think having him sit behind him and learn and understand, call this year a wash. Call it a wash. But this entire offense, you have a toss-up for receivers. You got a young running back. You got Brock Bowers, who's also very young still. The offense could obviously
improve.
Brock
Bowers.
The defense, as to which everyone has said on this call, adding Nakobe Dean, who not only can play that tough Mike linebacker, but also can go out in coverage. We saw that a lot with the Eagles, and he's very efficient with that. As long as he can stay healthy, he should be good there. I think it's a trend in the right direction. I think they as well win 5 games. I don't know if they're winning 2 again against Miss Patty. That's a bold statement. You put a coffee on it, I'm down for that. But I think they eventually.
I'm not that confident in it.
I think they do
Put
win
your car on
5
it.
games.
What?
Put your car on it.
No.
Hey, put your car on.
Which you know what? I'll put the Kia on it. Why not?
Is this the corniest
or the Tucson
quarterback room in football, by the way?
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
This is the most awkward room for sure.
Also, I was going to
But
look up.
I think it's one of the smartest, though.
I agree with that.
I don't know.
And Mendoza's pretty tough. He's taken some hits in his college career. And now, obviously, the NFL is a big step up from that. But one of the big things you see in that transition is they're afraid to get hit. He just loves to play the game of football.
A quick question. Anybody want to do a quick Google search? Who was the last Indiana quarterback to be drafted, and were they any good?
Indiana quarterback to be drafted, and were they any good?
Or just give me any quarterback from Indiana.
I feel like I should know this.
It's not a pop quiz. Like, I'm not going to ask you next week on it, but I'm just curious to see if there's a.
I've got no idea.
Like, is this really like they had a good year, and now they're going to be
always been asked at football.
Well, you're not talking to who are you talking to here. I know that. I watch sports.
So you had Curtis Rourke in 2025, who went to the Niners as 227. Nate Sudfeld in 2016, who went to the
Sudfeld. That's a name I recognize.
Yeah,
who were you talking about, though, Fish?
Oh, look, I have no idea.
Oh, I thought you had like a.
I know. I was genuinely asking. I just didn't know if this was like.
Oh yeah, he was Trent Green.
Okay.
Trent Green.
He had some years.
Remember, he's the reason that Kurt Warner, even him going down, was why Kurt Warner got his shot.
Yeah. See, and things work out. So I don't know. I look. We know this from time and time again, right? I love to bring this up as an example. Remember Trent Richardson, where he was insanely good at Alabama, like really, really good. And then a team took him, 3rd or 4th overall? I can't remember what team, some dumbass team.
Hey.
And then the guy was like, "Oh, I'm legally blind in both my eyes and I can't hear," and then couldn't find the hole at all. So,
still got a first round pick for him, though.
It's true. You swindle somebody. Playing in college and playing in pros is 2 different things. You could have all career insanely good stats in college, and it doesn't transition.
Look at
Tebow. Look at it. I think, well, he should have changed positions, but that's he had a 5-minute throwing style, like quick release, brother. That's it.
Yeah.
I think Mendoza's smart enough. I think he's got a few additional things that'll help him early on in his career. But I also think what we talk about all the time with these rookie quarterbacks, not throwing him in off the rip. Let him get his feet wet and then get his ankles wet. Ooh, it's a little cold. Get him out. Put his floaties on. Let him have some fun before he's, blindsided by, I don't know, some lineman that's 500 pounds who runs a 4.3 40. So let's calm down on that.
Do you know who the best player drafted from Indiana was?
Like ever?
Pete Fios played for the Eagles back in the 40s.
Pete Fios. I thought it was a plant. I thought I just.
What reward did he dodge to get? Oh, let's talk about the numbers. Oh, pop quiz. Not to steal your thunder there, Fish. Anybody want to take a guess on the career earnings of Kirk Cousins?
Career earnings?
At least 200 million, because I saw this.
It's gotta be more.
Yeah, probably. I saw this.
It's gotta be 350.
321,692,000 $254.
Yeah.
How much cents?
It doesn't go there.
Oh, you don't want to give me that stat, okay?
They don't deal in cents in the NFL. Are you kidding me?
They got rid of the
Honestly,
penny.
I put it in my clause. I want 3 pennies.
Oh,
So
man.
by the way, the contract that the Raiders signed him to is a 5-year contract worth up to $172 million. $20 million fully guaranteed, which is the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll play for 8 games, and then when Mendoza feels good, they'll throw him in and go, all right, you're good. You don't know you could. And he goes, $20 million guaranteed though, right? And he goes, yep. He goes, honey, let's have another kid and buy a yacht. So
8.7 of that is coming from the Falcons too, because they signed him for a big deal.
they are swindling the Falcons.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready to talk about these abysmal numbers?
No,
50% red zone.
It's not bad.
Surprisingly, only -7 in turnovers with Gino there. I thought it'd be much more. Bottom of the absolute barrel in every category on offense. 32nd in points, yards, rush yards, 28th in passing yards. And you got to think that that's probably game script. The 28th in passing yards.
Yes.
They threw the ball 61% of the times, ran it 39% of the time. Defense, not awful. Very much a don't bend but break defense, I guess. The opposite of what I usually say. They let a lot of things go into the end zone, it looks to be. The yards allowed, they were 13th. Pass yards allowed 12th. Rush yards allowed 18th. But 25th in points allowed. So if you're a Raiders fan, one of the few remaining, actually, I should say that Raiders fans are very, very diehard. I hope you're excited for this season, and I hope you're excited for like the next 4 seasons after that, because you guys are rebuilding. It's pretty easy to see that is the plan. Just be ready for Max Crosby to move on like Myles Garrett did in a couple years. That's probably going to end up happening. It almost happened this year. But yeah, I think that they're obviously not going to compete for anything now. They're going to leverage for a low pick, maybe trade that low pick for a team that needs a quarterback, and then get some assets there going forward. But yeah, Raiders fans, it's going to be tough sledding this year. Enjoy Ashton Genty while you have him.
They got a new head coach, Clint Kubiak from Clemson. They got the Seahawks OC now. So, I mean,
They're putting all the right pieces together in terms of staff, but I fear that they don't have the talent to get it done.
No.
Oh, no, not right now. No, God, no.
When Trey Tucker's your wide receiver 1, and no disrespect to Trey Tucker, he balled out when he had to. But he is a whopping 5'8", 182.
They have Jalen Naylor as number 1.
Not on ESPN, they don't.
I'm looking at Sleeper.
But I believe you. And if I was the Raiders, I would also put Jalen Naylor as my number 1.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Let's be honest. Brock Bowers is the true wide receiver 1 there.
True. Pass catcher 1.
But, yep.
We kind of took long on that. I had a couple activities planned for after the show, but we'll go ahead and call it there.
Save it.
We're going to do the NFC. Oh, shoot. You're both gone. Okay. So we'll do the AFC. I don't know. We'll do one of the divisions next week. Always did you do. Thanks for being a gent. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.